Check this out. Don't you think this is adorable? It hangs, and it's called a Boho Charm. It's so easy to make that you'll shake your head, because if, like me, most of the time you throw half of this stuff away. Stick around. I'm going to show you exactly how this is made and how easy it is. We'll be right back. Hi everybody. I'm going to do something, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And have you ever heard of the Boho Charms kind of deal? They're so simple to make that I thought I'd share this with you guys, because you do not need to have tools per se. I'm sure you have stuff like this in your, or some of it in your arsenal, and you can do without the others and make it with your hands. A boho charm is a charm that can be any length, and it's wrapped with material. You've probably seen some of those. Wondering how they're made. Well, I'll tell you. You can make them different ways. You can take a piece of cardstock. You need to have some cardstock. Paper will be too flimsy. If you're lucky enough to have a piece with a slit like this, for flowers, all you need to do is turn it, and you got yourself a tube. If not, you can use a pencil or whatever and just turn it, and just, you know, a few turns to make sure that you have it thick enough that it's not going to fall apart. I wouldn't go any wider than a pencil, but you can use a dowel to wrap it if you don't have that, a dowel of sorts. You can use a straw, but don't use a plastic straw, because they're not strong enough, and they will eventually, they won't stay straight. Okay? The thing that you can use is these heavy paper straws. They use these mostly to make, other than drinking straws, yes, you can use them to make some, what do they call them again, that you put across. You can do a spinner wheel on there, all kinds of little different stuff. And it's really, really easy to make. You'll need this. You'll need a pair of scissors. You'll need wire, a fine wire. Doesn't matter what. I have different jewelry wire, because years ago I used to play around, make some jewelry. And you're going to need some sort of cutting tool, and if you have this as a jewelry tool, you can use that. If not, you can go in your husband's toolbox, if you don't have it in your own, like a pair of pliers like this, okay? Needle nose pliers, they call them. Or here, if you're into floral, you'll have some green, the green wraparound. You're going to need a variety of, well, not a variety, but some beads, and a couple of caps, or if you do have some, and you know, a couple of loops. All stuff that you probably have right around if you're a regular crafter. Then you're going to need some material, and the color scheme that you're going to use, or I should say textile, because it could be in ribbon too, it's going to be your choice. But it's so simple to make. Let's get started, and you'll follow me along, okay? Because you can use lace, ribbon, fabric, yarn, stitching threads. You can use anything you like. You can make it the length you want too. And here, if you were going to cut it approximately this long, you could have 3 out of one straw. And they're really, really easy to make. So let's say I'm going to cut this down, and this is a heavy straw, like you can tell. Let me see if I can find my camera here. See how thick that is inside? So it's not a thin paper straw. And then once you have this, like this, you can then find a cap. Now, I want to try something I've seen, and I'm not saying it's going to work, but I want to try it. See if, because they have, I forget what the name, if it's bead cap closure, but they put these on. It looks just like this, but it's a clear kind of bead end, coupler, or I'm not quite sure. The ones I have here are a little too small, and I suspect you need to have, if you have some of these grommets, you need to have them long in here so they can fit in here. I just have the in-between size, so at this point, this is not going to work. Or it could. All I would need to do, pardon me, is add some glue in here, and then I could glue it down, and that could work. That could work very well. Or what you can use also, you could use a topper on a bead topper like such. And I don't know if you can see that from there, but those little toppers here, okay, and that'll fit in here like this, okay. Now, to start off, we're going to wrap it with some fabric. So whatever fabric, ribbon, leftovers, fabric, it doesn't really matter as long as you have something that you want to wrap it with, really. So here I have all kinds of different little doodads here. And I have, like I said, fabric that I can trim down. Let us see what we can find. With some liquid glue, and I'll tell you that just the typical tacky glue, Eileen's tacky glue would work. So I would suspect that the Glue All, Elmer's glue would work too. You know, I would think so. And you just add on some glue. The one thing is that if you're going to add glue, that it'd be a good idea if it dried transparent, clear, so that way there you wouldn't have to worry too much about it showing through the glue, showing through the fabric. And all you're going to do is, at this point, is take your little, you can use Fabri-Tac if you like, that's totally up to you, and you're just going to wrap your straw here, your tube. Just going to wrap it up, and if you have just one piece of fabric that is the whole size, well, that's fine. Just wrap it around. And when you're done with this, just use your good old scissors here. I have one pair here that I only use to cut fabric because I'm constantly cutting, and just glue it down. And I think I will go to my Fabri-Tac just because I find Fabri-Tac has a quick bond. So I think I'm going to go back to my Fabri-Tac just because I have it. But if I didn't, I'd be more than glad just to use this here. So this is, just like this. Okay. Now I'm just going to continue to what I want. If I want a little bit of this, whichever, I'm not quite sure yet what I'm going to do, but I'm going to see if I can do a bit of wrapping with this. I do like this, so I'm just going to cut this out a bit, just cut a little bit off, and my good old Fabri-Tac here, and I'm just going to glue it on. See what I mean? If you had a plastic straw, it wouldn't withhold the shape as well. So that's why you say it's kind of good that you don't use Fabri-Tac, not Fabri-Tac, that you don't use a plastic straw. So we're going to glue this together like this, and you're going to see it come together really fast. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this purple, and I know it looks like I'm covering what I've done prior, but I really am not covering it up. I'm just, all I'm doing is adding more layers to it. Probably wondering, when does the wire kicks in? Well, the wire is going to kick in pretty soon. Don't have to put wire either if you don't want to. Light eyelid here. Not heavy, but a little. I'm just going to see if I can, I'm going to stick it in my glue right there, and I'm going to just wrap it around. So let's just say this would be done. Now I could take some metallic floss, metallic ribbon, and wrap it around with that. It would make it even more glittery. But I'm going to, I think I'm going to stop, just for now I'm going to stop there. I'm going to use this one. This is artistic wire, and you can get this at Michael's, whatever crafts or bead store that you have. It's, I'm going to leave, before I leave, I'm going to take this. Now you could take a pencil with this, or you could wrap it around a pencil, or you could use, if you have a little paper flower maker like that, and you could roll it around and make a little design. The design that you'd want is totally up to you. I could wrap it around like this. Then I'm going to leave this tail right here. I'm going to leave that tail around that long. So keep my thumb on it, and I'm just going to loop it. Nothing fancy, just looping it around. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this end. I think it would be kind of cute. So don't forget, like, you could, if you have a pair of needle nose pliers like that, you could take the end and roll it with that. If you have a looper like this for beads, you could use that. Use a pencil. You can use whatever you have. I just thought of this when I was taking it out. I thought, oh, this will work. So all I'm going to do is, I like this one because it's got a little slit right here, so I don't have to worry about holding it with my finger, but that's just me. I'm all thumbs anyway. Just going to roll it. Roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it, like this. And push it together and leave it like that. Now that's going to give me options if I want to hang some baubles on it or whatever I want to do. That's what that's going to provide me with. Now, I'm going to take a thicker wire, which I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to cut myself a piece, oh, I don't know, let's say 10 inches or so. And this, you can cut this kind of wire with your scissors. I've got my cutters here, but you could cut it with scissors. It's not going to hurt anything really. And I'm going to run this into my bead here, into my little hole. So you end up with this. Okay? You end up with this. I'm going to use a cap, but you can use whatever you want. If you have a small bead, let me see if I can find myself a small bead that can, you'll end up adding it in, and that will kind of fall into the hole right here, and it'll hold the wire tight. Again, it doesn't take anything special. You probably have a bead like this somewhere sitting in your packet. Or you could use the back end, like I said, of this cap. But I'm going to add this cap in here. And then I'm going to see what else I could use. Let me see, I must have some purples in here, or blues. Oh, this one here is really sweet. Oh, I like this one. I like this one. What do you think? Do you think that would go good? Or do you think maybe this should go this way? That's what's fun about making beads. Yeah, I like it like that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take another one, and I'm going to loop it. Now, if you don't have any beads, just finish it off at the end. You don't have to do anything special. I've been crafting for a long time, so I tend to have a few extra things handy, but that's me. Now, when you get to here, I've bent the wire on this side. You could go directly to this side and do this end, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it, and I'm just going to hold it in my hands like this, and I'm going to fold this end. But before, I think I'm going to put another, I can see another small bead there, the same as what I had in the front. And then I'm just going to fold it down, simple as that. And this is where this comes in handy, or if you have a looper, it's even more convenient. The looper will fit right through like this. I'll show you on the other side how I make mine. The looper goes just like that, and you have a loop done, and it cuts your wire at the right end at the same time. But I just pulled it open here. But when your thing is twisted like this, you can use either this, or you could use this. This will work too. Just make a loop. Just turn it and make a loop like this, and make sure that it's closed on the end. So the only difference between this here, making the loop, and this here, obviously this is round, but you can straighten out your length. You're not going for, this is boho, and as long as your loop is closed. So when you get to hang something later, something else on it, it'll be able to hang on to it. Now I'm going to finish off this side. And all I'm going to do here, I'm going to add another one, another little ball. Just going to kind of do the same thing for sake of filming and making it quick enough. And what else could I put on this end? This end, let's put another cap. No, I'm just going to put one of these little roundy doodads, whatever they're called. And do I want something big on this end? I think this would look really sharp. Or this one here would look really nice. I like this shape, but it might make it too long. Yeah, that makes it just a tad too long. You know what? I kind of like it just, I don't want it too long, because then I won't be able to use it comfortably on my, in books or whatever I'm going to use it for. This one here is too big. Let me see. I must be able to find in all my little leftovers here something that'll work. Let's try this one. Huh? You're going to give me a hard time? No. There you go. Let's just say we have this. Now all I'm going to do to close this one off is I'm going to do the same thing as I did with this end. And this end here, I'm going to loop it, because what I'm going to use this end for is I want to put my clasp on. So I want it to be able to have a little hanger of some sorts. So what I do to make a loop is I will take my finger, once I've bent it down, I take my finger like this, okay? This is how I leave it. Then I cut off the excess here. Then I'll take my looper, and you can do it while it's straight, guys, but if you do it when it's bent and you loop it, it's going to loop out straight. If you do it when it's straight up, when you get to loop it, it's just going to pull over to one side, and you just need to straighten it out. And there's my loop for this side. See? With everything finished, but look how quick that is. Recap. Take a straw. You need a paper straw. You need one that's thick. A long one like that, you can make 3 like this. Don't use the plastic ones. They're too flimsy. I would recommend make your own. Take a piece of cardstock, roll it until you're happy with the roll, and then when it's thick enough, glue it and use that. That works too. Once it's done, take whatever you want of your choice. You have fabric, you have stuff like this, burlap, whatever, and just if you want to have it really funny, just frail it a bit, make it frilly, and then wrap it around. Wrap it the way you like it. Put the colors that you like. You know, if you're a quilter and you have some of these jelly rolls, they're all like one length. You know, you could wrap some around to start it. Some like this, like anything at all will work. As you saw me, I just used whatever I had right there. Now that I see how easy it is, you know, I knew it was easy, but now I can now put some more effort. You don't like it, take it apart, make another one. It's as simple as that. And just use up your old beads, anything you have that is there. Look how pretty that would be, or this would be onto a boho. So it makes a change out of the regular charms that we would put on journals or whatever, you know, on a tag. If you wanted to a Christmas tag, make it in red, green, or blue, or whatever modern color that you want in Christmas, and then hang it on your tag as a specialty item. The person may want to put it on their purse later, wanted to hang it on their wallet. I mean, you know, there's so many things you can do with these little things. And you can also hang some little charms if you want it on it. That would work too. And you have something. I'm going to put something on the end, and I'm thinking a ribbon because I have the ribbon on my mind, if I can find one that's thin enough. But look how easy it is. I hope you like this, and I hope it gave you some incentive to try it, because, you know, we're always trying to find something different to make and add. Because for an example, all my Christmas gifts are handmade, and I always give to the same people, obviously. So, yeah, I can't give the same thing every year. So I like to make a change. And when I'm trying something new like this, I like that. I really, really enjoy that. And I'll be making more of these because I'm going to use it. They call them boho beads. This is mine. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. This is Yvonne, and I'm signing off.